Today is day 2 of my 12 days of tutorials, and you guys voted for me to use the Anastasia Soft Glam palette. This is such a classic, beautiful palette, and I created this soft, kind of warm halo eye look, but I absolutely love how this eye look turned out. If you're new to my channel and you're like, Angela, what is 12 days of tutorials? So pretty much every other day leading up to Christmas, and I'll be uploading a new eyeshadow tutorial with the palette that you guys voted for, and a lot of these palettes are older palettes. So if you like close-up eyeshadow tutorials where I walk you through every single step, then make sure you subscribe. But if you want to see how I got this gorgeous halo eye, go ahead and keep on watching. I am so excited to use this palette today. It is such a classic palette. I even cleaned it off a little bit for you guys because it was a little bit dusty. I went ahead and primed my eyes with the Urban Decay Primer Potion, and I set that with the translucent powder. I'm going to start with a mixture of orange soda and burnt orange on a fluffy crease brush, and I'm going to blend that throughout my entire crease. I feel like whenever I use this palette, I always start with these two shades in the crease. It's just like the perfect warm crease shade for me. I also wanted to mention that I've had this palette, I think it came out, was it 2016? So this is one of the oldest palettes in my collection, so we're gonna kind of see how the formula does today as well. I am building up those two shades a little bit more. Whenever I'm filming with the palette that I know I've done a lot of videos with, I always like to go back to my older videos and try to create something different, right? So I was watching the very first video I did with this palette last night, and it was just so funny to see like how far I've come and kind of like how I used the palette the first time, but that look I did was gorgeous. I will link it down below for you if you want to check it out. But it's just really cool to me that, you know, I've been doing this for so long and I'm still using the same palettes that I used to love, and you guys are still here watching my eyeshadow tutorials, so I love you and I appreciate you. I also have like a little pimple kind of growing in right there, so my eyeshadow might look a little bit patchy in this kind of outer area. Now I'm going to switch to a smaller crease brush, and I'm going to pick up Sienna and Rustic together. I do want to point out that these shadows are pretty powdery, so when I'm picking up some shadow, there is a lot of excess picking up, but that is pretty common for Anastasia's older formula. But I am a big fan of this formula, and I'm going to pat these two shades on the outer part of my lid. While I was watching one of my videos with this palette last night, a video that Samantha Rovendal did with this palette popped up, and so this look is actually kind of inspired by the look that she did. And she did this technique of dipping in between two shades and then applying it on the eye, which is something different than what I normally do, so I kind of wanted to try that out today. She kind of made a point on how the shades in this palette create such a beautiful gradient, and so it kind of works well to mix the shades together and apply them that way. So I thought I would try that out today too. Okay, so those two shades are on my outer lid, and I am going into my outer crease right here. And then what she did too is just took whatever was left on her brush and put that in the inner corner to do like a really, really soft halo eye. Because whenever I do a halo eye, I usually make the outer part and the inner part like the same amount of depth, but she pointed out that she likes her outer corner deeper but still adds some depth to the inner corner, so I wanted to try that today too. And it's funny because the video I was watching of hers is like 5 years old. I'll link it down below for you as well if you want to see what I'm referencing. But it is always fun to try some new eyeshadow techniques, even if you're watching an old eyeshadow video. And then again, whatever's left on my brush, I'm just bringing right into the crease, but I am keeping the center of my lid blank for now. I am going to build up those shades one more time on my outer corner. And then whatever's left on my brush in the inner corner. And then again, bringing it right into the center of the crease. And I gotta say, these shadows are applying and blending beautifully for being an older palette. I'm gonna go back to that first brush I started with no additional product on it, and kind of soften out this edge right here. I am gonna take a little bit of burnt orange on this brush. Now I'm going to do another mixture. I'm going to take a little bit of Mulberry and Cypress Umber. How I'm dipping into these shades, I'm literally just going boom, 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 and then I tap off the excess. And I'm going to deepen up this outer part even more. And I'm using a really light hand for this because I am using deeper shades. I don't want this to be like super packed on or anything. And then again, whatever's left on my brush right here in the inner part. I have not done this in a minute, but I'm going to do a little bit of the concealer method. So I'm just taking a really light concealer. I'm using the Natasha Denona one. And I like to look straight into my mirror and just like really find the center of my eye. And I'm literally just going to do a dot like that. And if it wants to transfer, I'm going to let it. As you can see, it definitely transferred like that. Now I'm just going to take a small little lid brush. This is a Rephr 28 and kind of pat out the concealer. And this concealer is going to give me a nice light base to lay my shimmer shade on top of. I used to do this concealer trick all the time, but I would make it a little more like harsh, like a half cut crease or a center half cut crease, but I'm going for a much softer look today. But before I apply my shimmer, I'm gonna go back to my small crease brush and just kind of pat around the edge of the concealer so it blends into these deeper shadows. And for my shimmer, I'm gonna pick up Rose Pink on that same lid brush. So I just hit pan on that shade, but that's because this shade was broken at some point, so like a lot of shadow just kind of fell out of it, but that's kind of fun. But I definitely do not use this shade that often. It is always fun to see a pan in the palette, but I'm gonna take that shade and pop that on the center of my lid. So I'm just going right on top of the concealer. Some days I feel like my eye shape like changes, like when my face is relaxed, I feel like my eyes look extra hooded today and it's kind of bugging me. That is one thing I noticed too, like watching my old tutorial last night and just how my face is now. It's like, yeah, my face shape has changed a little bit. Again, I'm taking that small crease brush and just very softly blending around the edges of that pinky shade. Now I'm going to take a little bit of Fairy on that same brush and add that to the very, very center of my lid. Just to make it pop even more. I am loving how this looks so far. I went ahead and did my under eye concealer off camera, and now let's do the lower lash line. I'm gonna take a brown shimmery eyeliner. This is Urban Decay Roach, and I'm gonna run this across my waterline and lower lash line. Now I'm just going to take the tip of that lid brush I used earlier and start to smudge out the liner. Now I'm going to take some Rustic on the tip of that same brush, kind of use that to soften the lower lash line, add a little bit more brown. Then I'm going to take a little bit of Burnt Orange again on the same brush and use that to soften the lower lash line a little bit more. Now I'm going to take my Rare Beauty highlighter and Exhilarate and use that to highlight my inner corner. I went ahead and popped on my mascara and lashes, and for my lashes, I'm wearing the Bright Lashes Flare. I actually haven't worn this lash in a while, but this one is just a half lash, and it is a pretty full half lash just right on the outer corner. And here's the final close-up of this eye look. Alright, today is a hat day for me, but I love wearing like a full face of makeup and a hat and like comfy clothes. I just think it's a really cute look with some like little cute earrings. If you are a regular watcher of my channel, please write down what you think my lip combo is down below. It has been the same lip combo I've been wearing for probably a month now. My perfect lip combo right now is my Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude Lip Liner with my Makeup by Mario Lip Plumping Serum in Nude Glow. I guess I'll take the hat off if you want to see like the whole makeup look. I just didn't do my hair today. But I am so happy with how these eyes turned out today. Again, it is inspired by a video that Samantha Ravndahl did about 5 years ago now. But I love this kind of softer halo look where I didn't make the inner corner as deep as the outer corner, but there still is some depth and definition to the look. I feel like I used so many shades from the Soft Glam palette today, but like I said earlier, all the shades together do kind of make a beautiful gradient. Don't forget that today is just day 2 of my 12 days of tutorials, so every other day leading up to Christmas, I'll be posting a new eyeshadow tutorial with the palette that you guys voted for. I am so glad that you guys picked the Soft Glam palette because this look turned out beautiful. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.